Hi there, I'm David Wilcock, and I'm bringing you a very interesting announcement today. This video is talking about the very real possibility that in the year 2020 that secret space programs will be declassified. We have a convergence of information coming together that all is pointing in this direction. Unfortunately, one of the ways that this is happening is my former insider, Pete Peterson, did pass away. This happened in July of 2019, and it was a very sad thing for all of us. Pete Peterson was widely regarded as the most genius inventor in the history of the military-industrial complex. There are at least 50 different unique patents that he came up with on his own, many of which probably evolved into multi-billion-dollar industries within the classified world. We have all kinds of amazing stuff that he's done. I was his friend from 2009 up until his death, talking to him an average of twice a week. And I also met many other insiders through Pete Peterson who I am still in regular contact with. I originally taped video back in July to commemorate him and to basically give him what I felt to be a fitting tribute. And I also now am including in that video the last interview that Pete and I had. If you haven't followed this story, Pete Peterson claimed to be working within groups where there was extraterrestrial technology that had been back-engineered into operable devices, including anti-gravity systems, free energy systems, portal travel. This sounds crazy to someone who isn't familiar with this. However, when you get into the world of Pete Peterson and what he taught us, this is not crazy, this is very real. And over the years, I have been to, for example, the Disclosure Project led by Dr. Stephen Greer. I was there on May 10th, which was a closed executive summary briefing for members of Congress and invited VIPs, of which I was one. And that was because I had gotten onto the Art Bell show prior to that time and had been on there twice, actually, before this Disclosure Project event happened in 2001. There were 39 insiders there talking about the idea that UFOs are real, and I happened to meet almost all of them, everybody that I really wanted to target. At some point, I was able to get them alone, talk to them, introduce myself. And so those 39 insiders are just one small part of what has happened. There's a lot of people who have spoken to me over the years, in some cases exclusively. And I have a unique ability to be able to remember what people tell me on many, many different subjects. And so when enough different people say the same things and they don't know each other, and I've never publicized it online, you start to become a lot more compelled about the reality of what they're saying. So Pete Peterson was really the master. He was the best out of all the insiders I had. And beginning in 2009, he started to share all kinds of things with me about, for example, an alliance that had formed within the military, the intelligence communities, both in America and around the world, working to defeat what we now call the deep state. It's also been called the New World Order, the Illuminati, this kind of thing. Pete was getting these briefings in a SCIF room, or sensitive compartmented information facility. It was very, very secretive, and I found out that the plan had been in place since the 1950s. It does now appear to be reaching its fulfillment. The things that we're seeing with the QAnon phenomenon very precisely dovetail with what Pete was telling me since 2009. And there's been a lot of infighting going on. There's a lot of underground bases. Pete said there was over, I believe, 270, 260 of them, something like this. These bases are very large. They can hold up to 65,000 people. And they have a bullet train system called the Subshuttle that interconnects them. So within this world, if you can believe everything that guys like Pete have told us, and again, many other insiders confirmed very specific details, the U.S. government and other governments do have regular diplomatic relationships with a wide variety of extraterrestrial species. They are human or human-like. So many of them do look very similar to us, if not almost identical. That's another thing we've been misled about, the idea that they're all bug-eyed grays. That is not true. And they have technology that they've been sharing with us, and we apparently have been developing advanced technology of our own. So, before I get into the Pete Peterson tribute video, which will include audio from the last time that Pete and I spoke to each other that will have groundbreaking new intel that I guarantee you've never heard